we are at www.askyourangels.ca. We're with Marianne Grabowski from Florence Dwelling. You might recall that Terry came to see us a few weeks back from Florence Dwelling. Terry's in our studio audience. Hi, Terry. And today we have, of course, Marianne with us. So what we're going to do, if you have any questions, please chat them in. We're going to leave phone calls till the end of the show, but if you have a question for Marianne or myself, please give us a call towards the end. We'll let you know when that is. And going back to helping yourself be more positive, yoga, is that a good way to do that too?
Yoga is a good form. Yoga, because it is meditative. It brings positive focus and positive energy into the body. It allows you to calm and concentrate on the energy centers within your body to be able to get the results that you want. You have to have an area where you can responsibly understand what it is that you desire out of your outcome. And things like yoga, where they will teach you and allow you to live in more of a meditated, peaceful, calming state. And this, again, yes, positive energy. And the positive energy in that mode is difficult in the world that we live in today, with all the negative that happens around us, all the negative we see, whether it be media, whether it be just talking, whether it be talking in a social group, whether it be just the first thing that you do in the morning, you pick up a paper and you look at the headlines and it's a negative statement. These have already bombarded you in your first few minutes of awakening. Going into meditation allows you to have that focus and to have a time to do your affirmations, for a time to do your mind and body work, because yoga encompasses all. It encompasses the mind, it encompasses the body, and healing the mind and the body together. That's the prime objective. Sorry.
Okay. We have an online question. What's our question?
The question online: can't you tell us what is Florence Dwelling?
Well, we talked with that at the beginning, but perhaps you missed that. So that's a great idea. Let's do that again. Let's tell them a little bit about Florence Dwelling.
Okay. Florence Dwelling, we're located at 143 Locke Street in Hamilton. We are a spiritual center that does workshops on a variety of energy healing topics: Reiki, crystal healing, angel magic, psychic healer. We also have card readings, angelic card readings, that are based by and done by T.K. Atkinson, our card reader.
Who's phenomenal.
Who is phenomenal.
I can vouch for her.
She is. Well, she's just absolutely wonderful. And as well as the spiritual and the positive affirmational workshops that we do have product that we sell: crystals and wands, and Terry's meditating over
Meditation
there.
classes.
Meditation classes and healing circles. So there are quite a few different workshops that we offer,
Reiki?
just to bring everyone in, to be able to find that focus, find that inner spark, find that contact that they need with themselves, in order to go through the affirmation and positive affirmation process, clean away the negative, and be able to move on in their lives with some focus and with some intent. And not only that, but also realizing, because even with positive affirmation and making yourself better and doing things that are better, you have to realize the impact and the overall intent of what happens through it. So.
It's like a domino effect, and you affect other people around you, and then they're happy and positive, and hopefully they'll continue the pattern.
Yes, yeah. It would be the ideal nature of everyone to deal with pattern, like you just said.
Mhm.
Not everybody is 100% positive all of the time. Everybody has days. Everybody gets down on themselves. There are others that like to make people miserable.
I know a few of them.
Just because.
I think we all do.
And through wanting to use energy to enhance yourself, you can create your reality by it. You can state your affirmations. I am healthy. I am healthier today. That I am wealth. And by stating affirmations and stating them on a consistent basis, you can turn your life around and help also to rectify a lot of the negative and the other experiences that aren't so savory that are around you. It affects everybody. You are being who you are, which will naturally help somebody else to become who they are, and so on and so forth. And as the negativity cleans off our bodies, then we will be able to emit more and more positive energies.
I think there's a reason why a lot of people that are, say, terminally ill, you hear, miracle stories of how they prolong their life longer than what the doctors even predict. And these are the people, and you probably know some that tell themselves, "No, I'm strong and I'm going to survive." I had a friend, Kay, who was diagnosed with breast cancer and given 6 months to live, and she was adamant, "No, I'm going to be around long enough for my children." She had two small boys at the time, to know who their mother is, and she lasted another 6 years.
Yeah.
I mean, she had cancer everywhere at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But she was a very positive, strong person, and just took one day at a time, but kept that faith and the positive attitude.
Mm-hmm.
And she believed, or she had told me, she believed stress is what brought on the cancer in the first place. When you're a very negative person, or when you let everything get to you, it literally eats away at you, and then you have all these toxins in your body. It's not just from people who smoke or drink or drugs, or the emotions can bring on all these toxins, and they can lead to illnesses. So if that's true, then it stands to reason, if you can rise above it and try to stay positive and turn your life into something really, really positive, you might even heal yourself. And there's actually cases where people have healed themselves from cancer.
That's right. There have been a number of cases that people have healed themselves from serious illnesses just by searching within themselves and being positive, and finding that power source that is their life source, that is going to continue them in their way, by grasping that positivity. And it's very hard to explain, because there is an area in the thinking, there's an area in the mind, there is an area that you can touch on that is not your conscious thought and knowing of what is and how everything works, and being conscious of your illness and being conscious of everything that's around. And it's not in your subconscious, because your subconscious sometimes tells you what to do too. But there's this other area that's there, that's your little beacon that sort of says, I am going to always have this positive energy here. I'm going to have this positive drive here. I'm going to have this positive ability here that's going to grow and grow and grow as I give it what it needs and nourish what it needs to grow. And that in itself helps the body to say, I'm going to heal. I am healthy. I am well. I am better. And by programming your mind, because it is all, again, science in a way too, program your mind, program your brain with all the electrochemical balances in the brain, the pluses and the minuses, the positives and negatives, the chemicals in the brain that causes cellular structural different growths. That will affect the body on how it grows. So what happens with the body can be directly related to the mind. And by having a positive mindset, you can make yourself happy, you can make yourself healthy, you can make yourself whole just by practicing.
I believe that.
No, it is. It's a very good topic. You always have to maintain a positive attitude about yourself. Whenever there is a time that it is the toughest, whenever there is a time where you feel overwhelmed, wherever there is a time where it feels like you're not going to be able to succeed in something because of what has happened to you, whether you have an illness or whether you have a downside on your luck. The thing is if you want to come back up from those depths, or if you want to make yourself more whole and better and rise above, then it's the positive affirmation, the laws of attraction, the being the change you want to see in this world. It's thinking all of those things and considering the fact that I can make my existence, I can make myself better, I can represent myself as to who I am because I am a person who deserves to do that. That's the strong point about it, is because we have control over ourselves. I may not have control over you, I may not have control over him, I may not have control over a lot of people.
I have a little control over him.
But I can still influence you negatively. I can still influence you
if I let you.
Positively. Exactly. Right. So those interactions between myself, who I know I would love to try to stay balanced and focused and all positive and good, sometimes the negative is there, and sometimes the negative comes out, and sometimes that negative will rub off in social affairs. But all in all, you are still the one that has the responsibility to be able to have enough control in your life and have enough ability in your positiveness to not allow anything that I may say or attempt to say or make you feel that I have said to affect your life.
Right, exactly. Try not to take things so personally.
Yeah.
Okay, so Tech Guy's telling me it's time for me to say again that you're with Ask Your Angels Talk Show, www.askyourangels.ca. Please check out our website. There's lots of great things on there to help you that are complimentary. What we've talked about, the positive energy, yoga, Reiki, crystal healing, anything that you need, you can resource there. So we're with Margaret, oh my gosh, we're with, see? We're with Marianne Grabowski. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
It's the pressure from the tech area, from Florence Dwelling. And we're talking about, of course, positive affirmation, positive energy. What would you suggest for people, because I know there's people out there that are sitting there going, okay, well, I put it out there and I write myself checks to myself, and that are looking at this from a material aspect. Whereas, show me the money. Like, why am I not bringing money to me? And I already have an idea of the answer to this, but I'm just sensing that some people are going to ask that. What, in regards to positive energy, what's the difference between spiritually and materialistic?
Well, and that's a good question, because I had a similar experience today where someone was offering the sense that they always seem to be giving. They always give, and they always give with their heart. They always give on a good note. They always do what's right. They give. But why can't I get anything back? Why doesn't that come back to me? What am I waiting for it to come back to me? It's never there. It doesn't come back. Yeah, it's the way that the intent, the affirmation, and the way that you're going about the process of getting a return. It's not so cut and dry as that if I give you $50, I'm going to get $50 in return. That's not the cut and dry point of it. The point of it is that while you're waiting for something, one of all, you shouldn't be waiting, because now you're doing something negative. You're waiting for something to happen for you. You should always be living in the present, in the moment. The moment is the most important thing. If somebody says to you, I'm waiting to get rich, they could be waiting for the next 50 years. But if they say, I am rich, and they keep positively affirming the fact that I am rich, I am prosperous, I have around me what makes me happy, that's being in the time and living in that moment will help it to create much quicker. There's always a timeline and a guideline with affirmations. It's not like it's going to happen overnight. There are a lot of different steps involved, and not just doing the affirmations. It's actually knowing and seeking what it is you want to see. They want to see a money. They want to have an outcome. They want to do something that's going to give them their outcome. So first of all, they have to realize what their goal or their outcome is. Then they have to gain as much knowledge as they can about their goal or their intent and how they would want to be wise about gaining it. Then they need to have a belief in themselves that they will achieve this goal. Sometimes you don't believe enough in yourself. Sometimes you don't have the belief that this is going to come to you. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to talk about it all day, but you know what? But it's down. Yeah, you're taking yourself down. You're cutting yourself out. You're putting yourself out of that picture when you're giving yourself that negativity. You need competence in what it is that you need to do to be able to make it successful. Make yourself successful. And you need to not only have the competence, but you also have to realize there's actions involved in what you're doing to make yourself better. You just can't sit there and hope for something to appear, because that hope is not going to appear in front of you. If you would like to be prosperous and full and wealthy, then you're going to have to look for an avenue or look within yourself as to what you can gain some of that work and where it will help you to achieve your goal. And then the next things are the implications of your goals. Make sure that what you are doing and what you are wanting and what you are wishing for is really what you really want. So there's a lot more encompassing just the fact of the matter that your friends say, I would love to be go to the bank and draw out all kinds of money. I love to be rich. I love to have a job that pays me big dollars. But you still have to work at those things. It's not like it's magic and going to happen right away. The magic is going to come from within, and it's our responsibility within to put the magic out there around us. And then once we have from what's within is what's outside, we're forming ourselves a nice little social area now that we travel. And when we travel with the thought of positivity, and it naturally will stick to us.
I believe that too. I think if you, like Marian said, you live in the moment and you're pure of heart, you do things, without expecting something in return. You just give for the sake of giving, and try not to think about what's in it for me. That's not what it's about. The universe will take care of you, and eventually things will come back, and it might not be exactly what you envisioned, but you will be taken care of. It all works out that way. I found ever since I just leave it up to the universe, it takes care of you. I forget where, I think it was, Wayne Dyer had a movie called The Shift, and he says, when you're in the womb, you're a baby, all your nutrients come, you're not in there wondering what's coming to me. Everything's taken care of, and everything just goes along the way it should. And he said, when you come out of the womb, nothing's changed. This is how your life is. Everything that needs to come to you will come to you if you just have faith and not dwell on it or worry about it, and just say, I'm in good hands. Someone up there is watching out for me, and everything's going to be okay. And the minute, I spent years worrying about everything. I had ulcers almost when I was in grade 8 because I worried about everything. And when I finally decided I'm tired. I don't want to worry anymore. I'm just, you know what? Let it go.
Yeah.
Great things are happening. It really works. But you just got to, it's kind of like when you go for a reading. It's great to have affirmation and hear things from the person giving you the reading and everything. But you shouldn't leave there and focus your whole life based on that reading. It should be a case of you walk away, and when something happens that you were told was going to happen, it's like, oh, I remember she told me that.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't, do you know what I'm trying to say?
No, exactly.
It should be...
Exactly. It's those things that happen that you sort of file away in your subconscious mind that you draw on later because something triggers it. Something you see, something you do, something that you are thinking of doing. And it's like, oh yeah, wait, I did have, like you said, a card reading that focused on a certain area of my life and depicted certain things of focus at that time that I should go towards. Oh, I'm in that area now. Let's take that as a judgment point. Let's take that as that little bit of a block where now I've got branches growing off of it, and I can go this way with it because I'm at that step. And that's where I've sort of been guided to. And then just believing in that divine guidance will allow you to make the choice to the right step for the next step. And it's allowing that energy and allowing that openness to, in a way, show you where you need to go next. And that is a very nice way of being able to make choices, find focuses, and make decisions, and just sort of walk through life understanding that things can happen and things will always continue to happen. You just have to grasp those moments. The world is in flux. The world is always moving. The world is energy all around it. What is that saying? If you were to the forest to hear a tree fall, would it really make a sound? We are always in contact with everything around us, and just by having that contact, it's allowing us to utilize it. And utilize it for ourselves in order to give us our direction to where we need to follow our lives.
So what would you say for people, if you want to be more positive and you want to have positive people around you, and that's not always easy, but suppose there's someone in your life who is really, you know, they're toxic. Like there's people like that, I'm sure, in all of our lives. Could be your... It's more difficult, of course, when it's a family member opposed to a friend, but what do you suggest for people that have someone who is very toxic in their life and that person does not seem to want to change and you don't think they will ever change? Should you alienate yourself from that toxic person in efforts to stay more positive, or what would you suggest for people to do in this? Because I come across that quite a bit. And I also, because I believe forgiveness is the main thing, it's a slippery slope. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there are two different perspectives to the point. Of the one type of perspective where it's in personal empowerment and energy work and laws of attraction. There's one proponent that people say, you know what, you stay away from negativity as much as possible because that negativity is going to take away your positiveness, because it's going to create situations within where you're going to find elements of yourself going onto the negative side, blaming others for certain things, minimizing situations, going into denial, trying to justify it. So you're encompassing a negative energy or a negative power, and now you're doing more of the negative things to try and block yourself from that negative power. But then that's not assisting you, because now your negativity is there wearing back on the positive that you're trying to create. So, like I said, on the one hand, you have some of the individuals who say you should keep negativity away out of your life. Don't try and keep yourself in those social circles that make you feel uncomfortable. Don't put yourself into those areas where other individuals make you feel uncomfortable or are constantly attacking you. Get yourself out of those modes. But then there's the other side to it that says that the negativity that surrounds us is not there to hurt us, but to help us make us stronger. So we've grown up with negative all over. We're bombarded with negative all over. We look at the news every day, the media. We have individuals in social circles that may do better than we do, or may do other things that we are not that we are uncomfortable with. That gives us our own chance to look inwards too, and look in ourselves and say thank you to ourselves that I can be a positive person and not allow these things, and understand, not try to fix, not try to forgive, but to understand why the situation is the way it is and how does it affect me. Because a lot of times you need to realize on how it affects me and how I am going to create a better life and a better understanding for myself in this situation. See where I'm saying?
So you have to look at every angle.
That's right. It's not so just cut and dry. You do have to look at the beginning, the middle, and the end of it. They all influence each other.
I remember having a friend who, I say a lot. We've come across this drinking game. Anyway, I have a friend who, I think it was her sister, and again, very toxic. They don't quite get along. So her sister came over for the weekend, and by the time her sister left, she said, I feel like the energy has just been sucked out of me. And for something like that, I think to stay positive, we talked about clearing. So what would you suggest for something like that? The negative energy is still residing in her house after her sister's left.
Yeah. Clearing.
What would she do?
Different clearing. Crystals, having crystals in the home that assist during those times that negativity or something unwanted is there, to help absorb that negative energy, so later you can take the crystals and you can clear them. There's forms of, say, smudging and cleaning out the home to help sort of reset it. So that the negative energy has been cleaned out of the home.
That's good after a breakup too, right?
Yes, definitely. Smudge, crystals, any type of work towards getting that negative energy to leave, so that you don't have to feel the weight and the heaviness upon you while you are trying to continue on with your own situations, your own issues, your own thoughts, and your own positivities. You have to brush all that negative, brush it out of there.
So we know we're responsible for ourselves being positive. Suppose you have a loved one who isn't capable of being a positive person. Maybe they're in depression, maybe they're suicidal. What can you do to help someone like that be more positive? Is there a way for us to bring those people out of that and to help make them more positive and see the world differently?
Sure there is. We ourselves are the ones that classify those who can't come out of their shells, the ones that are depressed and can't open up themselves. Those are the ones that just don't seem to fit in. We're the ones that label all of these individuals and put these classifications on them, not thinking that they have their own abilities and they have their own minds to do what it is that they can do as well. We don't have the right to judge another person's nature or style of who they are, because by judging them, we are in ourselves taking away a lot of their power. By just saying, you are like this, and I'm sort of putting you in this boat, and it makes it more difficult for them to become positive. There are positive things that they can become involved in that would make them happy. Arts, photographies, going out in social groups, getting involved in different things that will bring out positivity in somebody's life. Talking with people. I'll use myself as a prime example.
Okay.
Yeah, this will always help.